Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
I was gonna say, speaking of the '90s and everything, since we're talking about like nostalgia, like what's going on with Nickelodeon?
What is going on with Nickelodeon? Y'all put me on. I'm behind on this, but this is good.
I don't know
like
either, but like
topic.
From what I heard, the owner had like a foot fetish for like little kids or something like that. I don't know. Chance, maybe y'all know. You know what I mean? But I saw that and I kind of like was like, you know, because we always used to watch
fetish.
Yeah, foot fetish. Yeah.
You know, I heard something about this.
It's a foot.
Oh,
it's a foot.
No. Okay. So you're talking about the thing about the foot that was on at the Nickelodeon Studios thing. All right. So that foot actually, it took me a while to kind of figure that out because the meme was kind of so vague or whatever. But the foot actually looks like a dick. So it's like, oh, Nickelodeon's on this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, SpongeBob is gay.
Huh? Oh, I was a lot was going on. I did hear about they did like come out with SpongeBob. I did hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying something about a dick and what? Catch me back.
So at Nickelodeon Studios, at back in the '90s when they used to have like the big place or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Like over one of the signs where it says Nickelodeon in orange, it's like a foot or whatever.
Right.
It's like a random foot, like little splat shit. But I forgot what the exact meme said, but it's like, how we didn't know Nickelodeon wasn't on this shit.
Yeah,
I think that they were referring to like like that foot was actually shaped like a dick. It was phallic shaped. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, I don't think it has nothing to do with a foot fetish, but I think it has to do with like a dick fetish.
Huh?
Yeah, that was kind of random.
But honestly, like speaking of that, I'm not really surprised, man. Like a lot of shit we grew up on watching was bad for us to watch. Like Disney and all that shit. Like it was always like little signs about sexual shit and stuff. We just was too young to like realize it,
Remember like Rocco's Modern Life?
Like we can go back now and look at it. Yeah.
That shit's crazy. But I don't see how are people not surprised about SpongeBob's gayness.
Fucking.
I thought that was known. I thought that was widely known.
Yeah.
About which?
I'm not really surprised. I mean, we're in 2020, right? Too. So also like it's a new age. You know what I'm saying? So like nothing surprises me anymore about anything. It can be dinosaurs tomorrow, like that roaming the earth again and shit. And, like I wouldn't be surprised,
So they did come out with this whole CNN. Here's a CNN article on it. SpongeBob SquarePants gay. Get out of here, ads. Nickelodeon just reinforced the theory. So SpongeBob and Patrick in a scene from their series. Okay, anyway. There's been a long debate about the sexuality of SpongeBob, and some are taking a Nickelodeon tweet as his coming out. Celebrating #Pride with the LGBTQ plus community and their allies this month and every month. They put, I don't know who these people are, but next to them, SpongeBob. And then, yeah.
Speaking of SpongeBob, I mean,
started trending. So,
Captain Planet and
Captain Planet's gay?
Wait, what was that? No, so yeah, Captain Planet, Carmen Sandiego's theories about them being gay too.
Huh.
Especially Carmen Sandiego. I don't know if I remember her.
Carmen Sandiego? She was like barely in the show. Don't they always trying to like find that bitch? Where in the fuck is Carmen Sandiego?
That's where she was. She ran away. She was like hiding it or something.
Scissoring and shit.
Yeah, I don't know about the SpongeBob gay thing though. Like, I mean, we all thought it, but like, I mean, I don't know. They're gonna start talking on the show like, "Hey, he's gay," like
Probably they're gonna be, yeah. But honestly, like,
because I mean, I really don't feel like. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
I would say like, let me watch some words, but like, I don't. Because, okay, Netflix, right? For like, we all watch Netflix, and it's a lot of gay things on Netflix that's kind of like thrown at you, like every little thing I feel. And so I think, honestly, even with cartoons, they're going to start getting into that more with SpongeBob. It's going to be the catalyst for it, where like they're going to be saying gay shit, my boyfriend and this and that, because like it's become so like norm now, like with everything, And you know, like I said, 2020, man, it's a new age, you know.
It's like a delicate topic because
Yeah.
I feel like most shows just don't talk about sexuality at all. Like that's a fine solution to me, especially if they're kids shows. You know, let them find that out on their own. Let them talk at school and figure that stuff out. You know, like learn how we learned it. You know, like we didn't really like learn all this stuff because TV shows are forcing it down our throats. You know, it's not like, oh, we're heterosexual males because shows made us that way. It's just, you know, I don't know anything about the science behind all that, so I won't even pretend to get into, you know, whether it's nature or nurture. But I just find it strange that shows are making a concerted effort to talk about gender and identity and all of that,
Right.
period. Like, I understand that the default is, you know, heterosexual Americans, whatever. And like, I mean, I get if they want to challenge, like, hey, let's have diversity. But I feel like when you start specifically drawing attention to that, it kind of takes away, like, that should be something going on in the background.
It alienates people too.
And it takes away, like, what's really going on the show. Like, kids aren't paying attention to that. If you start saying, like, hey, SpongeBob is gay now, then they're going to say, what's gay? Like, you know, now.
Because they're so innocent. Yeah, they're so innocent.
Right.
They don't know what's what. And so I feel like, yeah, that's what I was going to say, too, Mike. I'm glad you brought that up. But they should stick away from, like, talking about any of that for, like, little kids. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it pure and, like, what it's supposed to be, you know?
Brandon, where you at on that? Because you're a father, so.
Yeah, so I actually look at it from a different view, as if what they're trying to do is actually like reach out to the adults, because like the kids actually don't really fully understand that. And as long as the shows aren't really, like, these are fictional characters, you don't even know if SpongeBob, because it's a sponge, you don't even know if SpongeBob is a boy or a girl. Like it's Bob, so you assume that it's a boy, but it's actually a sponge. So like even the notion of sexuality for a sponge is ridiculous on its face to begin with.
Right.
But then when you go beyond that, I think what they're actually trying to do is reach out to the adults and in some ways perhaps pander to a particular audience. I think that's part of what it is, because at the same time, like, I kind of already figured SpongeBob was gay just based off of how the character is written and acted and played. So it's actually already implied. And the kids are actually a little too young to fully understand that, but I think their innocence kind of protects them from whatever the concerns are for the adults, and then from there is for the adults to go and have the conversation. So I don't actually think that they're targeting the kids, since the kids don't fully understand. They can just kind of look at the character and kind of just decide for themselves what the character is, and maybe it's not until they look back and they understand sexuality and gay people and straight people and just what the difference is, where they look back and be like, oh, you damn sure right, SpongeBob was gay. But for now, like, I can tell you, like, I got a 5-year-old downstairs who can't tell you, I mean, he couldn't tell you if SpongeBob was gay or what that means or anything like that. Now my 10-year-old kind of understands it, but she's at a point now where she's already been raised and taught and talked to, and so where, like, she can kind of handle it a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Whereas the more innocent one, he doesn't really know one way or the other, and then it's kind of my job to be the one to say, hey, this is what it is, what it's not.
Right.
Well, with that conversation, it's like, when do you even start to care when you're a kid? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I mean, with the shit nowadays, like you were saying, Joc, with it kind of being, you know, I don't know, like, put right in front of our face. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a guessing game or anything like that. What does that really do for people? Or like, what is that, you know, like, I don't know, how does that translate into like real life? Like, who cares?
Right. Well, and I get, like, I understand the other angle. Like, if you're going to do a tweet like that and, you know, kind of like a, you know, like a tip at the hat, like, hey, SpongeBob's gay, that's perfectly fine. Right. I mean, even if they say, like, hey, if anybody asks, SpongeBob's gay, whatever, right, that's fine. But what I hope doesn't happen is them try to force any agenda down somebody's throat. And I mean, I get, look, the default. Again, let's try to shake up the default. Let's see more diversity in what the default is in shows. I mean, the default is typically what? Married white family with a boy and a daughter, a son and a daughter, right? So I get like, hey, let's try to shake that up. Let's do something different. But again, like, let people create their own path, you know, learn their own way instead of like, hey, let me force this down your throat. I've never been a fan of like, here's what my narrative is, I'm pushing it on you. It's more of like, here's some shit I think. You're welcome to think whatever you want to think.
It's open for interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like honestly, guys, like in my opinion, I feel like Netflix is kind of doing it already.
Yes.
Like they have a certain agenda that they're trying to like force down people's throat because, like I said, I don't give a fuck what you are. You know what I mean? Like what you like cool, like as long as you're happy. But I notice every show that I watch on Netflix, they always have to throw some stuff in there. You know what I mean? Like every single show that I watch, literally, you know. And so I'm like, you know, why are they doing that? You know what I mean? Like I think I know why in my head, but I'm like, you know, you don't have to like do that to like try to convey your message. You know, I feel like where it's just like force.
What is the message?
So,
Yeah, so
that, you know, like gays we're equal and everybody, but I feel like it's kind of already at that point though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't have to like keep forcing stuff. You know?
Well, and I feel like it's almost like, well, Brandon, you were gonna say something. I'll let you go first. Then I got it. I'll gather my thoughts.
No, I was gonna say, man, it's hard for me to identify with just because, like, for me, it's like it's not even something that I would think about. But I think the point that they're trying to make is like representation. Like like I guess sort of the same sentiment that a lot of black people felt when Black Panther came out, and it was like, you know, fuck whether you kept up with the Marvel. There was a lot of people who didn't watch the Marvel movies who went to go watch Black Panther just because they wanted to go see the black superhero. Right. Now it's hard for me with a straight face to be like Black Panther and the representation in that is equal to SpongeBob and you know, and, you know, like I'm trying to picture even if I was gay, if that would even be the representation that I would be looking for. Right. But nonetheless, I guess that's what they're trying to go for. Right. But at the same time, I mean, it is a delicate balance because you gotta, you got a wide ranging audience, and so it's like you got to ultimately decide like who it is that you're talking to. Like I think that to some degree, like there are some good intentions, and to a large degree there is some pandering there as well. Because like I see what Jock sees as well. Like I'm all for representation, but it does seem like I have seen shows where it seems like a gay character may have been forced, or they feel like they just did it just to do it or to fill a quota. And even as a black person, I'm like, hey, if this show, like, if you got a show where a black person just don't fit in, don't force a black person into the show, you know, and it's sort of the same
like
thing.
Big Bang Theory.
It's like exactly like where were we supposed to get into that show, man? You know,
you know, that's always been where I've stood too, right? I mean, if the show, look, I get representation 100%. I also understand that humans, we like customization. We like things that are tailored to us.
Tailored to us.
If you get an email that's like a blast, you're like, man, delete this. I don't feel special. Or if you get a mass text, you don't feel special. So, you know, shows have a niche audience, a target audience. You have, you know, people tend to assimilate. They do. They just do. Look, like, anytime I go to a group, I'm like, all right, who's cool? Like, who do I get down with? Like, that's the kind of people that listen to music I listen to, you know, the people that I, you know, with common interests, right? So, you know, like, you're going to have to target that show, create, you know, here are the people that look like you, that act like you, that are like you, because that's what the show is about. You want to just blend into the show, you know? So I'm all about like, hey, this show has a very specific audience. You don't have to force people that don't fit into the show, you know? And again, I'm not making this point about SpongeBob or anything like that, but to your point, like, if you're gonna have a show, like, just let it be, you know? Like,
exactly, right.
I don't know. It's
they even have, bro. Honestly, they even have like a gay. They had like a gay Jesus show on Netflix. You know, so if, you know, like you said, like
Yeah.
yeah, they did. They took it off, but like I'm like, dang, like they, you know, like
Yeah, I
don't
gotta
force
get off
it this way.
Netflix. Period.
Doesn't need to be, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
Well,
it's just
it's a couple of things too, because I think like, you know, you have your shows that have a niche audience. You know, if you're like, hey, I'm you know, an Indian guy and I love playing video games. If there's a show that has, you know, Indian guys playing video games, you know, you're like, hey, that's just like my crew. Like, I like that show. If they're like, hey, we need more representation, and they just force different people that don't kind of fit that dynamic, like it doesn't work, you know, and it's phony and it's forced, it's pandering,
Right.
like you said, and
Yeah,
it's
it is.
checking a box, you know. And I think this kind of comes back to like the what I'll call like the Jonah Hill dynamic, where like they cast him, typecasted as funny fat guy, and the whole movie he's pointing at himself like, hey, look at me, I'm funny and I'm fat, you know, hey, look at me. Same thing with like Melissa McCarthy, you know, the funny fat
Right.
girl. Hey, I'm fat and I'm funny. It's like
Rebel Wilson.
it's
I'm
yeah,
funny. I'm
it's
fat,
it's
I'm
almost
British.
kind of it's almost kind of um like exploitation to a certain extent, you know. So I
It
mean,
is.
that's what bothers me is I feel like at some point they're exploiting people when they're trying to say, hey, we're representing everybody. I don't. People screw up the message and what their intentions are all the time. But
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that it just kind of goes with, I mean, nowadays with popularity, you know, too, because like these shows, like you said, they'll cast them to like, okay, here's a perfect example, like the Watchmen TV show,
yeah,
which is great, you know what I'm saying? Great
Cool.
TV show, great message, everything like that. But it's like, okay, well, you kind of switched up the writing of the comics to fit into this
Yeah.
particular part of, you know, of time to kind of pander to like a particular group of people. In this case, black people. You know, it's like, do a lot of black people even know about Watchmen? Not really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they gonna watch it on the strength that it's a black show? No, because they don't even know the property. You know what I'm saying?
it's a good point. Yeah,
So that's why that shit got canceled. Didn't that shit get canceled or something?
they didn't really
I think after
renew
like
it.
a season. Yeah, they didn't renew it.
They were like,
Because-
they try to save face, like, oh, it was a limited release. We're like, I know what that means.
It's like, nah, yeah. It's like, yeah, you guys, y'all fucking greenlit 13 episodes or whatever like that. It didn't work out for you. It didn't get the numbers you wanted because you were literally pandering to a certain group
Yeah,
to include them.
Yeah, I thought Watchmen was well acted, but not well written at all, man. Like,
yeah, I would agree.
like
'Cause
I respected the performances, like, and there it has some moments, man. But for the most part, it was like left and right. I was just like, what the heck, you know, what the heck?
yeah, the concept, the story was really weird, and like you said, like it was kind of. I mean, I've always respected Regina King, but like she was really
love
good in the
Regina.
show. You know,
She was great. She was great. And what was the
great in
dude
everything.
that played that played the
he's gonna be in Candyman.
yeah,
I
Candyman,
forget his
yeah.
name. We gotta give this guy some respect. We always say the guy that's gonna be in Candyman.
Yeah, he was cold though.
He was in some other shit too.
We were talking about he's on the
We brought him
Netflix
up last pod.
or the Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, with the weird game video game episode.
Okay, I don't feel half as bad.
Oh, you talking about Striking Vipers?
Yeah, I don't feel as bad because y'all tell me how to pronounce homie's name.
Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Wasn't all that hard.
Yeah, I just go yeah.
Yahya?
They
Definitely.
just call me yeah.
My
It's
man,
weird.
Yahya.
It's weird.
Yahya man.
yeah,
weird.
man.
Kind of weird calling dude yeah, but that's the man's name. So
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta do
Yeah.
it. Gotta respect it, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
kiss me,
yeah.
man.
Yo, that was a fun. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That kind of killed Black Mirror for me, though.
Yeah, you.
Like, it seriously killed a Black Mirror for me. I didn't watch any episode after that. That was the first episode on that season, right? I didn't watch anyone after
Yeah.
that one. I heard it was like a Miley Cyrus episode. I like Miley Cyrus. Hey, didn't watch it just
Yeah.
because that episode threw me off.
Yeah.
I like video
See,
games.
that brings you back up to right. But it brings back up to like shit being forced. They didn't feel like I didn't have to like do that in my opinion, you know?
Right.
I feel you, but it was entertaining because that was a mind fuck. I had a feeling.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that
This
whole
shit's getting
episode.
kind of weird, man. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, nah.
And the thing is, like, you knew it was about to happen. Like, I don't think any of us knew what was about to happen. You know what I'm saying? You
Like,
can
why
just
is he
tell.
playing
You know?
as a girl
Like,
character? And then I was like,
I was like, yeah, something's about to happen.